Hi everyone, today we're going to take a look at lesson 18, which is all about collisions between your sprites and other objects. Just a couple of terms you're going to see, and we're going to play around with sprite.bounce, bounce off, collide, displace, set collider, and bounciness. All right, so let's just take a look. I'll start this video off, and depending on how long it gets, I may switch and cut this one off. But again, if you just need help on, say, part 4 or 5, you can fast forward this video. So sprite interactions, you've been able to create simple sprite interactions by using the sprite is touching block. You're going to use that quite a bit. So it says run the program and observe the interaction between the two sprites. We obviously don't have someone to talk to about it, but let's just take a look at what's happening. So right now when you hit run, this guy, the giraffe, is moving towards the monkey, and when he hits him, he collides with him, he pushes him off the screen. So a couple things that are happening, it's moving across the screen, so that's your velocity x. Something happens when the sprites collide, so the sprite is touching. So like if the giraffe is touching the monkey, then these things happen. Okay. For part 3, and I've completed some of these already, but if you need further explanation, I'd be happy to go over it with you. All right, so the giraffe is already moving across the screen towards the monkey, but the sprite interaction itself hasn't been programmed. All right, so right now, the monkey's moving across the screen towards, the giraffe towards the monkey. Nothing's happening. All right, so we're going to have to figure out how we can add in some code. So let's see what we can do. So basically we want the giraffe to push that monkey if they collide. So the first thing I'm going to do is put in an if statement, a conditional, underneath the background. So if the sprites collide, so if one sprite is touching the other, so in this case we have giraffe is touching its target. Oops, help if I actually clicked on it. If the giraffe, what's going on here? Well, let me type. I'm going to do a little fixing up. I might have to reset, so I'm going to pause this video. Okay, we're back. So in the conditional, if the giraffe, is touching its target, in this case the monkey, make sure you're using the same names that they're using up there for your sprites. Then we want to make something happen. So then we want, if you look, I'm going to go back to 2. So that's moving along, and basically when they collide, you want the monkey to move along in the same way. All right, so that's what we're doing right now. We're going to use some code that we're familiar with, and then we'll add in some other features. Okay, so right now, the giraffe's velocity x is moving along at a speed of 1. So basically, when the giraffe is touching the monkey, then we'll make the monkey's velocity x, the monkey's speed match that of the giraffe. Let's see if that works. And we can always speed it up so it goes faster. There it is. Now, that's one way that you can make that happen. There's other different ways that we can make that occur just with less code, basically. So we're going to play around with that this lesson. So the elephant should push the hippo off the screen. Notice that the elephant moves at a random y velocity each time the program runs. Okay, so right now, if we hit run, we wanted to push that hippo in the same way. So right now, the elephant's velocity is a random number somewhere between -3 and -1. It's negative because it's moving up the screen. And remember, with the y axis, it moves, positive goes down and negative goes up a little backwards. All right, so once again, we need to put in a conditional statement down here in our draw function. If the sprites collide. So if one sprite is touching the other, in this case, you have a hippo and an elephant. So if the elephant, if the elephant is touching its target, which in this case is the hippo, and then we want it to move the same velocity as the elephant. So if you just did, and we're using velocity y, the hippo's velocity y, a random number like that one, there's going to be an issue. Oh, and we can't pull up random, can we? Nope. Basically, if you would have used a random number for this as well, it's not going to be the same random number that this one is, that the elephant is. So in this case, you want to say that if the elephant is touching the hippo, you want the hippo's velocity y to match that of the elephant's. So I'm going to grab sprite.velocity y, and we'll make it the same as the elephant. Again, you don't want to use a random number. It doesn't even give you that option because the elephant's on a random number. The hippo is on another random number that's completely independent of the other one. All right, let's see if it works. It's a slow one. There it goes. Okay. If I hit it again, it should go a little faster. It's all just going to be a random number. Okay? All right, so now let's get into using the new code. All right, someone tried to use the sprite.displace block to make the elephant push the hippo, but there's a bug. Can you change the code so the elephant pushes the hippo off the screen? So I'm going to reset my level here. Okay, so we want the elephant to push the hippo. So let's see what happens. Hit run. They're coming at each other. It's going the other way. So let's look at our code that we're using. This is the new code. So the hippo displaces the elephant. That means that the hippo pushes the elephant out of the way. We want it to be the other way around. So the elephant is going to, oops, it would help if I was on the right computer. The elephant is going to displace the hippo. And there it goes. All right, so